everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing an ocean inspired set with these lovely blue and green glitters here that remind me of the ocean, and these plates here. I'm not quite sure which image, but I'm pointing to the ones that I like, so I may possibly use those ones. So yeah, let's get started. Let's go. So first I've got these 3 tips here, and I'm going to be using this halo as cashmere actually. Sorry about the state of the bottle, I obviously don't use this one on clients. This one is purely for my nail videos, and it gets used quite a lot, so that's why it's in a mess. So I'm just going to use this as a base for these 3 nails here. I don't record I don't record me doing all of these because you would get bored. So yeah, once I'm happy with them, I'll pop them in the lamp and then I'll move on to the next one. And that's those 3 done. And now I'm taking my next tip, and this one is going to be a white base, and I do believe this one is for my shell nail, so it's a 3D shell nail. So I'm popping that down, and then once I'm happy, popping it in the lamp, and we'll take it from there. So giving that a wipe as it comes out the lamp. I am using a builder gel here because I want to make it 3D. Now as you can see, I already had some on my palette, and this is because I recorded this over and over again until I was happy. And even though I wasn't, oh sorry, there's my Magpie detailer brush, and although I wasn't overly happy with the way that this one turned out, it was the first time ever doing a nail like this before, so you know what, I was like, I'll keep it in. Let's just, it's as good as it's going to get for today. I wasn't overly impressed with this whole set anyway, if I'm honest, but as you can see, I've taken a blob and dragging it up to the end of the nail. So you want a big blob at the end, dragging it through so that it makes it thinner at the other end, and then, you know, putting the other lines on. Now in hindsight, I would have probably used a thicker brush to do this, and I probably would have made the lines a little bit closer than what I have. That's what I would do differently this time if I was to go back and do it again. But you know what, by the time I'd already decided that that's what I would have done, I'd already recorded it, so hey ho, it is what it is. It still looks nice at the end anyway. And I know you can't see them very well at the moment. You know, you'll see the texture of the nail, or the client will see the texture of the nail. There we go, we've just zoomed in a little bit so you can see it a little bit. So we're going to cure that, and then when it comes out the lamp, you can add more to it if you want, if it's not quite, you know, thick enough. This is my gem glue. It's like a really thick gel. So I'm just going to take one of these, I can't remember which one I used, I think it was a round one. So a little bit of gem glue, pop it on there, and then pick up with my wax tool which one I wanted to pop on the nail. So that's going to be my outline, and then I'm going to put the gem in the middle of it. So make sure that's placed where you want it. And then before curing, I'm not going to cure at this point, I'm going to get a gem that I want. I've got a selection of gems here, so I was just looking for the right size that I wanted to put in, that's going to fit in there, and I wanted it blue. So we're picking up that one, and we're going to place that nicely in the middle, making sure that you're happy with the position, and then if you're happy, you can pop it in the lamp for a full cure. So that's that done, and we're going to give it a quick wipe. And I'm using Magpie's Don't Be Tacky to top coat this. Now you have to be careful when you top coating a 3D design, because obviously you don't want to lose that 3D effect, but I do need to make sure that I'm top coating around the gem. You do not top coat on top of the gem, because you will lose all the little sparkly lines and stuff within it, and it'll just look like a blob of clear blue dot. It won't look like a gem anymore. So making sure that you push it right up to the edges, and then even though I've put the top coat on, I'm wiping a lot of it back off because I don't want it to float around and make the nail smooth like you normally would. So once you're happy, you can pop that in the lamp. And then I went in again by the looks of it and redefined those shell lines, made them a bit thicker. You don't have to, like I said, you didn't have to do this part, but you can if you want to. And clearly I left this bit in when I was filming, so I wasn't sure whether I had or whether I hadn't, but obviously I did. So that's just me going over the lines again, making it a little bit thicker, a little bit more defined. And faff, faff, faff. And there it is. So I'm going to pop that in the lamp now for a full cure. Next we're going to take our really pretty blue and green glitter. It does have some hints of little tiny bits of gold in there as well, which looks quite cool. So I'm going to pop some of that into my little triangular tray. And I'm taking my first nude based nail, and I am going to put a base gel on. If you don't have a base gel, you can use top coat. I just find base gel is a bit thicker to hold it all in place, but you can use either if you don't have a base gel, that's fine. So popping a thin layer of that down first, and then I'm just going to sprinkle this on the nail. In hindsight, I think in the next ones I didn't sprinkle it. I think I just used my glitter brush and popped it on, pressed it on rather. Because now look, I end up going back because it's quite chunky. You can't really do the sprinkle thing very well. You can do it with smaller glitters, but not really with the chunky ones. So yeah, I'm just going through and dabbing them on now, and trying to do a full coverage of this chunky glitter. And just pushing at the sides to make sure that they're not overlapping the edges. It doesn't matter too much if they do, because you can file it off if you have got bits sticking out at the end, because we're going to encapsulate this nail. So that's going to go in the lamp now. And then we're going to go in again. I think we go in with another layer actually, so that's why I'm putting the base down again, just to fill in those gaps, because I wasn't 100% happy with the coverage of this nail. But obviously you don't want to make it too thick either for your client, so thin layers each time that you do it. Try and making sure that those chunky glitter bits are as pushed down as possible without sticking up. So I'm just going in now and filling in the gaps. They remind me of like Mermaid scales, don't you think? Like the these two chunky glitters together. So that's going to go in. Get it in then. Okay, on to the next one. And again, we're taking our base. This time we don't want a full cover now. This time we are only doing a part cover now. So kind of like a glitter fade. If you can do a glitter fade with chunky, you can't really achieve a massive glitter fade, but you'll see what I mean. So this time I'm just pressing them in rather than sprinkling it on. That way I've got more control of where it's going. And yeah, it does end up all over the brush. It does get a bit messy really, but take my dotting tool, look, and pick up to be a bit more precise and put them in the edges and be a bit more selective with the ones that I wanted. And I'm just playing around now with the colours. So if I've got more blue, I'm adding some more green, or if I've got more green, I'm adding some more blue, vice versa. And just placing those ones at the top where I want them to be, so that it's not like a straight line and it's just kind of a bit of a mishmash, because I don't want it to be a straight line across. Filling in those gaps. Yeah, we need one more up there, don't we? And that's going to go in the lamp. So this is the one that we did earlier. So we're going to take our 180 grit file and file the edges of this. So all of those bits that are sticking out and poking out are nice and smooth, because when we come to encapsulate, we obviously don't want a bumpy, uneven nail. So I'm trying to get rid of the majority of that now as much as I can without losing the glitters. And now we're going to encapsulate it. I'm using my Light Elegance Extreme Builder Gel here for this part. I did faff around with this, to be honest, and I didn't really use as much gel as I should have done at the beginning, and I think I picked up 3 beads in the end. But this actually needed a fair bit of gel to encapsulate it, because like I say, it is chunky, and I didn't bring it all the way down the nail, look. So I go in again and pick up another bead, and I do faff around with this for a little while, so bear with me. But once it's done, it looks nice, because obviously when you're encapsulating glitter like this, it gives it another dimension. So yeah, it's a really good effect. I'm just making sure that those sides are included here. That's why I'm dragging it around the edges, which you'd obviously have to do on a client, but making sure that you don't touch the skin, obviously. And yeah, and the cuticle area is all encapsulated as well. Make sure there's nothing missing. And then I turn it upside down to help gravity, and then pop it in the lamp. And I'm going to do that now with the other ones as well. Obviously, I want more of the what's it called, the gel at the bottom end, because that's where the chunky glitter is, and I just kind of feather it at the top and make it a bit thinner where the nude colour is. So I do pull it down, because obviously you have to get the gel to flow, and that piece obviously was loose, so we'll get him off. Making sure we've got all our edges. He ended up being on there, so I think he stays there actually in the end, because I was just like, do you know what, it doesn't matter, I'll just put some gel over the top and it'll stay in there. Just making sure that we didn't obviously have enough gel on that one, so I'm just going back in and putting some more. It's not, oh, I did take it out in the end. Yeah, it's not particularly massively self-leveling this, so you do have to be careful that, you know, you're making sure it's all level and even, and hence why I turn it upside down when I'm finished, to try and help that process. Here it goes, upside down, and then in the lamp. So that's out the lamp now, so give it a nice wipe with some isopropyl alcohol, and then we're going to go in and buff it with our 180 file, making sure we get in the edges, making sure we're smoothing the nail out, making sure there's no lumps and bumps. It's not easy to do it on a tip like this, because they fall off and all sorts. It's a lot easier to do on a client, but hey, we are doing tips, so I think sometimes in the end, I think I actually take it off the stand and file it, because Yeah, there you go, look. And then we're going to get in those edges, making sure that they're nice and smooth and not lumpy bumpy. And then buffing over the top, make sure it's nice and smooth and even. Making sure that we're keeping that shape intact and just redefining it where we need to, because obviously we have encapsulated at the sides as well, so that does need refining. It can take a while to do this part. Pop it back on the stand, and then that's that one done, ready for top coating. Now I did do the other ones off camera. Obviously you don't want to watch me doing that for ages because it just takes so long. So I'm taking my Beauty Big Bang clear jelly stamper and my plate here, and just an old O2 top-up card. Any card will do, any kind of old credit card or store card, or, you know, whatever. I've got some white stamping paint here and my plate from Beauty Big Bang. And I'm going to be using this one here. You probably can't see it very well. I think the ring light that I'm using is covering the design a little bit, but you'll see it. So we're going to put some on the, yeah, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, on the plate. And you have to be nice and quick with this because it does start to dry. So decent amount on, scraping it down, and then getting your clear jelly stamper and rolling it over. And did I show you the design? Is it outshot? There it is, just. And then using your clear jelly stamper, you can see, if you're looking through it, you can see exactly where you want to place it. This wasn't a great stamp really. I think I faffed with it too much. It wasn't very bold. It was a bit patchy, but it did the job, you know, for what I wanted it to do. And I'm just flattening down those bits that have gone all dry and sticking up. So that's that one done. On to the next one, which is the Mermaidy one. Again, I wasn't overly impressed with the way that this stamped today. I don't know what was happening really. So where is she? Come on, there she is, look. And then we're just taking off the excess that we don't want transferred to the nail. So lining that up and then popping it down when you're happy with the placement of it, where you want it on the nail. See, I mean, you could have gone over it, I suppose, with a detailer brush if you're feeling confident and making it a bit more pigmented. The next nail I wanted to use was for the for this part here, and I'm going to scrape it down. And you can see that that's transferred. Again, it's not transferred great. I'm not quite sure why. I think it was quite a hot day when I was recording this, and I think that's probably why. And it was drying a bit too quick. So note to self, when it's hot day, you need to work quicker rather than faffing, which is what I tend to do. So it's not going to cover the whole nail, so I'm just using the rest of the design that's on the stamper, and it's fallen off, look. That's the other thing, when you apply pressure, they start to fall off those stands. So this one is the last one, I think, that we're using for the Mermaid scales one. Again, I wasn't overly impressed with, I wanted it bolder. I probably just needed to, yeah, work a bit quicker. See, it was patchy. So again, this doesn't get the whole nail, so you have to stamp it on as best you can, and then go back and then get some more on your stamper and just do those edges. If you can see, look, there's gaps missing at the side, so I do go back in and get some more. Just use the edges as I need and popping them on, trying to line them up as best I can. Again, you know, it's not going to be perfect, is it? But at least you're not going to see the gaps there. And again, the other side, I think I have to turn my stamp around. It takes me a little while to get to realise that I've done it wrong. But yeah, I'll get there eventually. So I've been faffing for a little while. There we go. Oh, it didn't transfer. I obviously must have oh no, I'm going back in again. Or maybe I fixed it. Oh, I went back in and scraped again because I think it had dried by that point. That's why I didn't transfer across. Yeah. There we go. So now it's time for top coating, I believe. So I've got my Magpie Don't Be Tacky. Obviously all these nails have been buffed, the ones that have been encapsulated, and then we're going to see the lovely glitter come through now. So yeah, in the end, once you've got the top coat on, look, it wasn't very pigmented, the stamped bits. I don't know whether it's because, like I said, it was hot and it didn't transfer very well, because usually these colours are quite pigmented, or whether it's just because I used a really, putting that upside down just to make sure it evens out. Yeah, it may just be because I used some real chunky glitter with those bright colours that it just didn't really make the stamping part pop. But I mean, you can still see them. It just looked a bit on the sheer side, in my opinion, as that's a mermaid one. And then the mermaid tail could have been, mermaid tail could have been a bit more darker as well, really. Because again, once you put the top coat on, you kind of lose a little bit of the, but you know, the design's there, isn't it? Pop that in. And we have this one as well. I like to do a mixture of short and long nails for you guys, because they're not all long nails that we're working on, are they, all the time? So here is the finished set, guys. I hope you liked them. If you did, please give me a like and a subscribe and comments down below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.